Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome to my first video of patch 1.65. And this is the first day that I played this patch. And I have to say I just focused on the Japanese tanks, and this is my progress after the first day. I did not spend any gold whatsoever on the actual converting of convertible experience or something. And I didn't think that I played any of the actual Japanese tanks except the heavy tank number 6, which is a Tiger. Today, where I record this video, I actually released a tank review on the German heavy tank number 6, or the German Tiger H1, and I had a lot of things to complain about. Especially that the driver slits is open, like you can see here as well on the Japanese heavy tank number 6, and about those smoke launchers and certain other features of this tank. And this tank certainly is not too different, but it is a little bit different enough to play completely different in my experience in both arcade and realistic. The problem with today's day is that everybody plays the Japanese tanks, especially in realistic. I haven't seen too many tanks in arcade though, which I played the most. And I just wanted to show you, first of all, a little bit of statistic, service record. Let's get out those aviation. And you can see I played 80 games, of which I won 62%. I died very often, 74 times. But I killed 243 tanks. That's over a 3-to-1 kill to death ratio, and it is certainly very enjoyable. And this tank seems to also take a little bit more of a beating. In realistic battles, you can see I didn't play too much. I played one match on the stream with Many Miles Away and my other two friends Delta and Exe, and also Pixie in exchange, and it was an awesome battle. And I talked to those guys. They said they steamrolled the other teams all the time. The problem was, for me as somebody that likes to grind fast, I just simply had to switch to arcade. And I had a lot of great games in it, and all the lessons that I learned from the normal Tiger H1 over the years, and also from the German Tiger E, really applied really well. Now, there were significant changes. First of all, before I come to the main change, I have to say, those smoke launchers don't seem to interrupt the gun. The gun actually glitches through them, so they don't have to elevate. As well as the elevation speed seems to be higher, which is one of the major drawbacks for those snapshots. The turret rotation speed is of course higher, not just in arcade but also in realistic. This is basically a Tiger E for the Japanese without the APCR at 5.7. Okay? And with this patch also there is a new shell available, the Panzergranate. And not the Panzergranate 39, which is the stock shell, but the Panzergranate. And that is the very exact same shell that you get on the 88 millimeter half-track flak. And that is amazing because it features 160 grams of TNT. You don't kill your enemies, you evaporate them. This shell is more powerful than the Russian 85 millimeter that is featured on the IS-1 and also the T-34-85s. More powerful in its damaging effect. However, the penetration is very comparable to the stock shells or even the upgraded APHE shell from the Russians. But you still have the option of using the Panzergranate 39, which has additional 20 millimeters of penetration. And in some cases, you really need those extra 20 millimeters, especially when you face, for example, a Churchill Mark 7, that you have a really hard time finding a weak spot where you could penetrate it with the upgraded, lower penetration, but more damaging Panzergranate. And additional, as I have shown you in the tips and tricks section of the Tiger H1 tank review. You can also use the Rohladungsgranate 39 as a multi-purpose high explosive shell, so to speak. So when your gun is broken and you fire to blow it up, you can immediately use this with the full damaging effect in certain brawling situations to maybe survive that one situation that might just kill you anyways. Now, I tried to get some realistic battles, but the queue times were just insane. 10-minute queue times, you can't effectively grind with that. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but I just simply can't grind with that. And so I had a lot of fun in arcade, and I hope you relax, because I simply show you now a 15 kill game in arcade with this awesome tank, and I think that counts as a first impression of this tank. But a first impression might be a little bit strange, as I will show you my crew. I researched 313,000 research points. I used a few boosters that were about to fall, that were just to fall out of the time limit. And so I made a lot of progress. The last thing that I want to mention is Tier 1, Tier 2 were not the problem. Tier 3, the grind really began, like 60,000 for the Tier 2, which I will make a proper video about, because it is the first proper tank with an autoloader, and I'm highly interested how it will play out. But the real struggle will begin with the STA1. 220,000 research points, and you have to research both, because you need 6 vehicles, as you can see here, to unlock Tier 5, where we currently have just the STB1 and the Type 74. And just a quick side note, the Chiha shotgun was not really up to the task. I tried it out in 1 or 2 matches. The reload for such a big gun is hilariously fast. It reminds me of the Chieftain, for example. However, in the normal regular battle, you can't really play it with the heavy tank number 6. And for the HE shell, as you can see here, it just has HE 30 millimeters. You have to really aim very careful at certain weak spots, and where you can do splash damage, and that is mostly just possible in arcade, but a lot of people will just take you down before you can shoot at them. However, it has the Yak Tiger gun sound, which is amazing. So I think that's enough rambling. Let's get into the arcade game with a triple ace, and I hope you stay with me, as it is just simply, the only way that I could grind on the first day. So, welcome to Volokolamsk, and as you can see, it's a replay. I was not really recording, which I usually don't do when I'm power grinding, and I go here for the middle cap, here for B. I just have company with this Chira 2, or what's his name? Chiri 2. And I just go in fearlessly. What I really like is this 3D decoration that you could get your hands on when you purchase the package, which I actually don't regret. The experience just driving around this, let's call it buff tiger, yeah. And as you can see, I feature both APHE shell types. The first one is actually the so-called upgrade with the less penetration, but the 160 grams of TNT filling. And that makes a huge difference. It makes literally a huge difference, as we will see in a moment. As you can see, drastic damage on the first T-34-85. I disabled him. The second T-34 tries to hide behind, but I see his engine deck and I just simply blow him up. So far are the shrapnels reaching, and they blow up ammunition racks so efficiently. It feels like driving a Russian tank in terms of firepower. Now I'm capturing the point. It takes a while to capture, so let's talk about the tank review on the Tiger 1. I still stand to what I said, because the Tiger H1 did not really change by itself. It got additional ammunition, like the T95. And like with the T95, arcade tank review back in the days. I just released it the day before the change. And I had no idea that we saw an additional ammunition type. Sadly, again, I had no chance to find it out, as I had no chance to get on the dev server, because I certainly would have looked at the ammunition choice for the Tiger 1. Although I haven't heard of anybody saying that this tank gets new ammunition. You know, it is just the information policy of Gaijin, and boom! That's the new ammunition. I love it. Going straight through the tracks and the side armor of this poor T-34. What was it? Just a T-34 with the 76mm gun, I think. And this guy blew up my cannon barrel, or damaged it, just before I pulled the trigger, so I blew it up. He does not know that I'm not there. I shoot with the damaged gun to reload a heat shell. Sadly, in the replay, the repair times are not shown. By the way, this is my direct view. Now, as you can see here, you can switch to the player's view that I really had. And I damage the T-34-85's gun barrel, and as you can see, it's blown up as well. I aim for the side, and beautiful. I cannot say how much of a relief it is to have this firepower. T-34-57 goes up in flames as well, and I lose my driver and my radio operator. I damaged the M6A1, and now I try to double angle myself against the Tiger 1 and the T-34-57 will eliminate the threat on the flank. And now this tank terribly over angles, and I have a clean shot at his ammunition rack, which he foolishly has not emptied. And Tigers are still very easy to ammo rack. However, I don't know, please don't quote me on this, but for the 50-60 battles that I played in this tank, it just feels to not go up in flames that easily. Also, I didn't blow up when getting hit in the engine. It feels like a different tank, like you would expect the Tiger 1 to handle. Granted, this is arcade, but for the few realistic battles that I played as well, it was kind of similar. And then I just noticed in time that I actually could have been shot by the KV-2, which dunked his shot. He has a very long reload, and I used the chance to get under the guns into cover and just reposition myself. The 105 Sherman tries to charge me. Stupid mistake. It's just so uncommon to see a German tank to blow up enemies like that, and the turret pops clean off of the KV-2. This was just such a ridiculous situation. Going hull down with the heavy tank No.6 is just so great. One bad thing, although, I have to mention about the shell is still the relatively high fuse sensitivity of 28mm. It has the same fuse sensitivity as on the German tanks. Obviously, they are the same shells. And also the Panzergranate 39 has the very same fuse. And you know, this shell is more or less known for creating a lot of over-penetrations. Again, APHE ammunition is actually the only ammunition type in the game that can over-penetrate due to the fuse not getting activated. And then I missed the shot on the KV-1. I have 12 kills in the bags. This is not good enough. Another shell in the side, and he's very lucky to survive this. I would have normally shot at the hull, but just the turret was visible. So I finished off the ZSU 37, and then I re-aim at the KV-1 because now he has replaced his gunner. I finish him off, 14th kill. If the match would just have taken a bit longer. 14 kills. An amazing run. And I shoot at the cupola of the T-34-85. Today I had some awesome splash kills on the turret back ammunition with this new Panzergranate, which has again an amazing damaging effect, and I claimed my 15th kill. I sadly don't kill the G3485. Somehow the shell doesn't really go through the turret despite exploding. Kind of a glitch effect, but it happens so often that I just simply can't believe that it is a real bug. It seems like it's feature comrade, not bug. Something like that. And then I go in aggressively. I wanted a 16th kill. And I actually can't go through the side of this Jumbo Sherman with the shell. Again, it has under 150 millimeters of penetration. With the actual stock shell, I would have gone through. And again, I should have used that shell. And then there's the M6A1. Beautiful turret shot, but sadly no kill. Again, when you just have the turret shots, a lot of tanks can survive it with the first shot. And then this shell just disappears somewhere in the void on the tracks of the M6A1. Just not good enough. And then I finish off the last tank, but sadly it was just after the match has ended. So now let's have a quick look at the post-battle results. This is the screenshot. 15 kills, 1 assist, a lot of hits for 123,000 silver lines. This tank makes a lot of silver lines in my opinion for a tank. There are no silver line boosters applied, and over 9,000 research points for the vehicle research. So this explains why I went through the grind of tier 1 to tier 3 relatively quickly. Not every match was like this, but this was certainly the most successful ones. I really like this tank. It feels like unnerved, and with the new shell it just has the killing power that I expected from a tank. But that the tank shell was not replaced but just added as an option really gives you still the penetration power that you need in certain situations when you have heavily armored tanks and or when you fire at distance. So overall, as far as I can tell, for the Japanese premium tank, the heavy tank number 6, it's a really good tank. For me personally, a very good tank, and I would recommend it for myself. If I can recommend to you, I don't know. It's up to you. If you always wanted to drive a Tiger tank that plays really well, has the handling of the Tiger E at the battle rating of the Tiger H1, with an additional shell that, by the way, also the German tanks with all the short 88 gets, by the way. So also the Panzerbefehlswagen 6 and the VK 4501P, I guess. And also the Tiger H1 and the Tiger E get those shells. So it's not just limited to the Japanese tank. I have to say, I was really excited about this day. I was really back in the grind for almost weeks. I had nothing to do within War Thunder, and the game felt a little bit boring. I cannot wait to explore the game further on, as it is just amazing with the 2 new maps for tanks that I really like. I like the look of them, especially the North Korean 38th parallel map. I really like the look of it. Gaijin designers have really outdone them. The Lost Factory, I believe it's called, also looks really cool, but it's not, it's more like Stalingrad in summer without the rubble, and that is certainly what I like, to be honest. So I have not had a proper look at all the cockpits. I just had a look at the cockpit of one of my favorite heavy bombers in the game, the G5N1. It's not the best plane to play, but certainly, in my opinion, one of the best planes to look at. It looks really great. And so I have to say the cockpits look amazing. You have a very different feeling to it. It's definitely 100% a plus for the simulator pilot community, although I don't play simulator battles myself, except sometimes in tanks. But yeah, I have to check out all the other planes, all the other tanks. I might, as I mentioned, do videos about higher tier tanks, so stay tuned. I'm really looking forward for the exploration of the rest of the patch, so to speak. As far as it goes for my friends and all the people that I know within War Thunder, there was not a single complain about the patch so far, not a serious complaint. And so yeah, I think this is the patch that we hoped for such a long time. Um, and yeah, that's it for today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you don't mind the arcade gameplay. Just a quick reminder how awesome arcade can be if you have problems at a launch day where the queue times for realistic battles are just simply through the roof. I was again in the power grind mode, and yeah, everything come together as a German tanker. It is really great to have the Tiger back in the game. I will do a full tank review on the heavy tank No.6, and I also have then I do a separate third tank review on the Tiger E, as it plays in a little bit of a different role, because as you can see, you have no real APCR for the heavy tank No.6, which you get on the Tiger E. And again, that's it for me for today, and I hope you liked the video. If so, please give it a like, it really helps me out, and subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields and in the skies of War Thunder.